Okay, hello everybody. Today is Monday, December 20th, 2021, 8:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Clearwater, Florida. This is going to be a crudest of all crude flat Earth analysis. I was recently with someone and I tried to explain that all rockets go up and then curve and then fall into the ocean. Now, nobody believes that, obviously, and I want to stress the obvious part because we all know the cliche platitudinal boilerplate explanation for that, and that is that the Earth, or I'm sorry, the rocket is turning and is accelerating in order to reach orbital velocity before it enters the atmosphere, so that once it reaches the atmosphere, it will be headed in the right direction at the right speed in order to achieve sustainable orbit, right? Isn't that what we all know to be the explanation? But then there's another explanation floating around out there, no pun intended, floating around out there, that says that once a object reaches a certain altitude in outer space, it begins to fall back to Earth, but because of its position relative to the surface of the Earth, I don't know why I'm struggling with words tonight, but anyway, the word position is hard for me. That other word that I was struggling with earlier, I can't remember what it was now. Orbital. I think it was orbital. Anyway, once it reaches a certain altitude, it begins to fall back to the surface of the Earth. However, because of its height, because of its altitude, it misses the Earth, and so it just continually falls, missing the Earth, and then achieves an orbit that way. Now, to me, those two explanations are mutually exclusive. In other words, in one case, velocity is creating orbit. In another case, gravity is creating the orbit. But, that's just me. Probably somebody could explain that better. But I just wanted to do this little demonstration regarding the second explanation, where the object is continually falling and missing the Earth. And like I said, this is going to be the crudest of all crude. So theoretically, that's the sphere of the Earth. It's important to note that both flat earthers and heliocentrists believe that the Earth is round. It's just that flat earthers believe, or geocentrists, which is the same as a flat earther, a geocentrist believe that the Earth is round like a coin, and heliocentrists or globers believe that believe that the Earth is round like a ball. So geocentrists believe in a disc-shaped Earth. Globe earthers believe in a ball-shaped Earth. But in both cases, they're round. And I did do the math one time that if the dimensions of the flat Earth were the same as a quarter, like a coin quarter, then the thickness or the depth of the plasma disk, the disk, which is the surface of the Earth, would be, if it was the same as a quarter, which is a big assumption, we obviously don't know, it would be 500 miles thick, given an 8,000 mile diameter. So that's kind of interesting. The deepest we've ever drilled into the Earth is 8 miles. So it just kind of gives us an idea, if nothing else, as to the scale of things, and a demonstration as to why it's impossible, really, for us to do any type of an experiment that proves one way or another. We simply, as humans, our scale relative to the size of the Earth is just too infinitesimal. It's too ridiculously small to do that. But anyway, so here's what I consider to be a pretty good understanding of that whole achieving orbit by falling thing. So if this is 8,000 miles, this is the diameter of the Earth. In either cosmology, the cosmology being the theory about where the Earth came from and what it looks like and what it's all about, Or is that cosmogony? Cosmology. I think it's cosmology. Anyway, cosmogony is it's theory of origins. But in either case, flat earthers and globe earthers believe this. So if this is 8,000 miles, this is 4,000 miles, this is 2,000 miles, this is 1,000 miles, this is 500 miles, and this is 200 miles or 250 miles. So this is the relevant point here, the 250 mile. Why is that relevant? Because the ISS, whatever it looks like, I can't draw very well, especially this fast, but anyway, the ISS looks something like this, and the space shuttle, right? The space shuttle looks something like this, all right? That's not a very good space shuttle. That looks more like an airplane. Anyway, let me do a better space shuttle. So the space shuttle might look something like this. Yeah, because on the space shuttle, the wing goes all the way to the back. That's why. That's why. Okay, anyway, they both orbit the Earth at about 200 miles, somewhere around 200 miles, okay? So that's why this 250-mile distance is relevant, right? So people are saying that, so first of all, just think about this, right? Look how small that distance is, 250 miles. This is where, at this distance, right? This is where the space shuttle and, and the ISS orbit the Earth. Now, people are, and I'm talking about smart people, okay? So this is, if nothing else, this is a commentary on the power of brainwashing, right? Smart people, and by smart I mean educated. I don't mean necessarily smart, because educated people are not necessarily smart. They're just educated, and they have a lot of things to say because they've been trained to have a lot to say, right? So they sound smart, but that doesn't mean they are smart, right? Because you can train a dog to do a lot of tricks, I guess. Maybe you have to have a smart dog in order to train them to do a lot of tricks, but it's still just a dog, right? So anyway, so smart people are actually saying that at this distance, an object can fall and miss the Earth continually. Now, I don't know about you, but that's absurd. The idea of anything achieving any type of anything that is in orbit at that distance, relative distance, to me, is just absurd. I mean, when we hear in stories about the ISS and the space shuttle, I mean, this is what we're looking at. I mean, this is what we think. This is what the demonstrations look like, or not the demonstrations, but the illustrations. This is what the illustrations look like, right? They look like this, or they look like this. I mean, you got the Earth down here, and this thing's way up here. But look, that's like 8,000 miles, right? 8,000. That's like 4,000 miles. But in reality, they orbit at 200 miles. I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, to me, it just illustrates the farce of the entire narrative about outer space. To me, this right here, okay, illustrates the farce, the farcicalness of the entire narrative of outer space that we're all spoon-fed and force-fed. All right, so that's my video. It's 8 minutes. I was going to try to make it 3 minutes, but I failed. So I like to ramble and digress and chase rabbits. So anyway, again, today is Monday, December the 20th. 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Clearwater, Florida, United States. Thank you for watching my video. God bless you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And yeah, God bless you. Peace, blessings, and liberty to you and yours. Bye.